The London is I.
So
Yeah.
it roots back to, I would say, when we was in second year at uni. Because second year, I think first year we sort of were getting to know each other, but I think it was the second year that when we were doing our assignment, we sort of like, you were doing psychosocial studies and I was doing social and cultural studies, and I think you
They
were
were both in the what department was it?
PACE.
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 Profession. What
It was
was
professional, academic, and cultural
community
education.
or something?
Or
Yeah.
community education, that's
Yeah,
it.
something.
Professional and academic community education. But then it moved over after that.
What was PACE again? That's a good question actually. Let me check again. What was PACE? PACE Department Goldsmiths.
Yeah, PACE was only there for a year.
PACE was new. Yeah, that's true. It was a new thing. I remember them
It
promoting
opened and then it
promoting
closed.
it like.
Yeah.
Do you think? I don't think it was that. I mean,
I don't know, it was
think
weird
it was
because when
there it is. Professional and community education. That's
yeah,
the one.
that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's weird. It sounds like the when I was at Boreham Wood, there used to be the PACE scheme when I was playing football before I got my level 2. It was called the PACE scheme. So it was weird when I got there and they also had PACE, and then it closed down after a year, and then we moved to the education department second year. I remember that. But did psychosocial move to the education department?
Psychosocial studies, I think they did. Yeah. They already had it before. Yeah.
They had it
So
before.
they decided to. Yeah, it was in the psychology department first, but then they decided it was it was too hybrid, and so they decided to put it inside
Okay.
this department
So
instead.
when the PACE department closed, what happened to the psychosocial studies? Was it part of the education? Did you join education as well, the education building?
Yeah, it basically was. Yeah, it basically was like a mixture, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah, they had staff from both departments.
Because in the third year, you were in some of my courses, isn't it, with Yael?
Yael, yeah.
We had the
Who was she was from? For example, she was from
Mexico, isn't it?
Yeah, but she was from what department was she from?
No, she was originally PACE because she taught courses on social and cultural studies, but I know she also mixed some of the classes with us. Because in the third year, I know we had a class where we did a thing. I don't know if you were in my class where we learnt about Orientalism and the other.
Yeah, that
you
was
were
the
in
one.
that class.
That was the one, I think, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely learned about Orientalism in Goldsmiths. I didn't learn about it in Source, no.
No, yeah, same. I learnt about it in Goldsmiths as well.
Yeah.
So
I don't remember what it was. The good question. Was it anthropology by any chance? Because we shared anthropology.
we
before
did. That was in the first year.
I met
Thomas
you-
Zacharias, right?
Zacharias,
Yes,
yes.
yes,
Oh,
yes.
that
Yes.
man. I've never met a
genius.
professor like him again.
Yeah, he was top draw.
Not
I
just
think he
that,
admired the
but
fact
he
that
was
I
a
came.
party animal as well.
Yeah, he was. And he used to be shocked because I used to come in with my crutches after first year when I broke my leg playing football.
I remember that. I
Yeah.
remember that. Yeah.
And I got on with him so well since then, I remember.
And the lady as well. There was a lady as well that taught alongside.
Oh,
she was
quite.
pretty
I've
good as well.
forgotten her name, yes.
The blonde lady, the short
The
hair.
short
like-
hair, yeah, that was
Anthropology,
anthropology.
yeah.
Yes, yeah. Really,
anthropology,
really good.
yeah.
Yeah.
But anthropology is what Thomas Zacharias taught as well, wasn't it?
And then he came the second half of that in the first year.
Man. Anyways,
Yeah.
but yeah, the London Inside, our idea definitely roots back to...
I think it goes back to the second
Yeah.
second year when we were sort of figuring out what we want to do as we were studying at university. But I think it sort of hit home third year because we were good writers at university and we wanted to sort of put that into a blog.
So it's been in the works for, I'd say, almost 5 years now.
5
We're approaching
years.
2018.
Now.
This was back in 2013, so almost
Mhm.
5 years. But of course, officially, we launched
it was 2000.
this year's January, wasn't it? 16th
No,
of January?
well, we planned it in December 2016
Mhm.
and we launched it in January
In January.
2017.
Exactly. So we're approaching the first year mark.
Yeah, we are.
And what would you say since our launch? What would you say?
Has been the best factor.
Mm.
I think the best factor has been the meetings that we've had at SOAS. I think from when we got the board up, I brought my tablet and we sort of divided it and we fragmented and we looked at the areas in which we wanted to explore. You wanted to explore politics, I wanted to explore sport. So I think those two were decided, but when it got to the middle, that's where it started to clash between lifestyle and events. And
You know, I'm surprised that you're saying that because I would have thought that the meetings were the hardest part, when me and you have to sit down and bang heads together
yeah,
and say, right, but this might not be right, but this might not be right. And of course, we want to be as genuine as possible with our audience about our beliefs,
that's it,
where we're coming from in the political spectrum,
that's it,
who we are as people,
that's it.
our
Our background,
background, every kind of
What we stand
information we
for.
want to be out there. Yeah.
exactly.
But at the same time, obviously, it's not easy.
It's
when
not
you
easy.
when you're trying to run a professional organization. And so I'm surprised. Why do you say that our meetings was is your highlight?
Because I think it gave us a chance to sit down in private. Not any homo or anything like that. But to sit down and actually genuinely put the Londoners Eye before us, and then like work together from where we said we wanted to do what we was going to do before we put the name forward for the Londoners Eye. And it gave us a chance to really then start to open up on issues in society that we want to explore, and how the media will have a positive effect on the people that will decide to follow it. So
Exactly.
I think for me, I think the meetings was, it was quite hard because we didn't have an audience to sort of plan it in front of.
No.
But we had to sort of sit down and really think closely. I think the best part of the Londoners Eye was when we went to the park in Marble Arch, when we went for Speaker's Corner.
Oh, Speaker's Corner.
Yes,
Yeah.
I thought that was brilliant. We met some really good people. We met people of different beliefs, different religious beliefs, from the Imam. Well, not the Imam, but you know, he was like a preacher Imam.
He was an Imam, wasn't he?
He was sort of an Imam. We met someone like a type rabbi, but he was quite rude. Then we had like a white witch, or not so much a white witch, but what do you call those people? Like free movement people, the guy who was sitting on the top.
She was like a spiritualist or something?
Yeah, like a spiritualist, and he made some very good points actually. But then people were laughing at him, and you couldn't understand why. But at the same time, he was funny, but at the same time, he was right. He was right. You know, this place is a bunch of lunatics who come to, you know, just kind of vent their frustration. But at the same time, to us and to a lot of people, when they sort of
to us, yeah, I mean,
there's a lot of truth
to the
in that.
Londoners Eye. I mean, because that's what we're all about. We're all about,
Exactly.
you know, bringing together all these different perspectives.
Exactly.
In a respectful manner, where everybody can pitch their own, you know, ideas and
That's
beliefs, without, you know, needing to be rude to others. And obviously, some of them weren't, as you mentioned, not all of them were polite. But you know, we can only do our fair share to show what happens.
Exactly.
And obviously, you know, it's never going to be perfect, but that's what we're trying to do. And without us, of course, you can imagine what kind of void there will be. It's literally a void.
Definitely.
Where there is no grassroots movement like ours
Then
to you know,
to
bring
start from
together
the ground up, exactly. You need organic growth in anything that you do,
There you go.
and it all starts from community.
Mm-hmm.
And the Londoners Eye provides that
Mhm,
in the most
exactly.
perfect manner.
Exactly.
And I mean, if you look at our political climate today, and the spectrum in which we are taking, the scope in which we're taking, you've just finished your masters in law at this particular university,
Exactly.
following the back catalogue of a psychosocial studies, and we were in the same course, social and cultural. Now
Very
the
similar,
movement,
yeah.
of course, things are obviously changing, but for the better. Now we're not just thinking about how we're going to influence the older generation, but how is the younger generation going to fit into this as well. And I think this is where it's going to become the best part of the Londoners Eye.
Okay,
And
yeah. So actually, yeah. On that note, we might as well speak about, you know, the future. Where do you see us going now? That we're hitting our first year anniversary.
Yeah, I see it's a legacy. I think the Londoners Eye is a legacy. Why? Nothing escapes the internet. And I think that our Facebook page, like you said to me on a phone conversation previously, our Facebook page and our YouTube channel will give us a TV station and a newspaper, literally.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised about the success we received on YouTube. Obviously, we started this mainly as a publication. We wanted to just write and have people reading, but we didn't quite figure, you know, what people's preferences were. And
Exactly.
obviously, it was my idea to, because I like doing filming as well.
That's it.
To bring in YouTube as well and start making videos.
Yeah.
And we received good positive comments on there. So
Yeah.
do you see us like moving more towards like video content in the future, or do you think we can still hold a foot into the publishing market as well?
I think we can definitely, you know, at some point work it on paper. But I think from when we started and you were looking at the Lonzit, at the heart of Brexit when it was getting really tense, and you were looking at sort of the capital that London alone brings compared to the rest of the UK, and you were sort of looking at taking London away from the UK and the statistics in which, you know, the economy is strong in the UK because of London, you sort of looked in areas and you made your audio. I don't know if you remember, you mapped it out, and so you mapped out you mapped out your audio, and then what happened was, I thought that did really well, because you did the artwork, you did the what's it called? You did the artwork and you did the speaking, the voiceover. But I think as well, the particular cartoon video you also showed me about Africa, sub-Saharan Africa, and organic on the farms, and how they also, you know, compared to their economic growth. I think aspects and areas like that when it comes to politics and insight and education will be really, really good. How are we going to fit that when we work with institutions? That's something as well I look forward to.
So do I. Anything else that you want to add to tell to our, our viewers?
Okay, I think obviously we are looking like we want to go out. So we're gonna cut this. Thank you. We're gonna cut this sort of social talking.
All right, then yeah, let's start it off. Okay, our friend is in now, so we're gonna have to cut this short. But thank you very much for tuning in, and keep posted on the stay following the page and everything.
We will keep you updated with more, and don't worry, we're in a good place. It will get better and better. We're
just very, very busy right now, so this is our sort of way of thanking you for following us and giving you a bit more insight into who we actually are and why we're doing this.
Exactly.
Thank you very much
more
for
watching.
More to come.
More to come.